There we go. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the May APAC community call. Today we'll have a very packed agenda. So I shifted around the agenda, the usual agenda. So we'll have multiple recaps and reflections of some OHDSI/OMOP events that happened last month. First, we'll have Max to present his reflections, recaps of the tutorial in Thailand that took place, followed by Qian and Aoyagi-san presenting on their experiences from the OHDSI Japan event, followed by Jason to briefly touch on a lecture that took place in Taiwan. And last but not least, we'll have Jiawei to share his experience as the APAC representative participating at the April Olympians event last month as well. And then if we have some time left, I will share some news with regards to upcoming OHDSI events coming in the next coming months. So without further ado, I'll hand over the floor over to Max so that he can share his experience around the OMOP tutorial that took place in Thailand. Max, I understand you don't have any slides. I'll stop sharing screen so we get a better visual of yourself and we can have a interactive session where needed. So please go ahead.
All right, thank you, Song. Hi, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm Max. I'm from Thailand, but right now I'm in the US, so that's why. And last month we had a one-day event with IQVIA Thailand and OHDSI Asia Pacific to introduce OMOP OHDSI to Thai folks. And we had around 40-50 people joining us. And OHDSI has gained a lot of interest from the Thai community, and Song, Mui, Shara, and IQVIA Thailand has introduced them. I think a lot, like prepare them to know a lot more about OMOP OHDSI. I think it has been very useful for us, for the Thai community. And well, one lesson learned that we think if could be interesting for other communities to perhaps to have like a hybrid session. So in the event that we had earlier, we had like in-person event, which was good. We had a lot of personal interaction between people. We had a lot of people asking questions, but we also missed out a lot of people that were interested in OMOP OHDSI in Thailand but couldn't come to Bangkok to join the event. So I think in the future, if we plan to host next event, we should have kind of like an online hybrid version as well, so that more people can join. I think that's my reflection from the event.
Thanks, Max. With regards to that around the hybrid event, I do think there may be so there was a recording of the event. I don't know if the IQVIA Thailand team has any plans to release this, but it would be I also agree it would have been beneficial if we could have been hybrid, but considering the preparations and the logistics, right? Sometimes it's very difficult to prepare everything in a short time. So but yeah, definitely hybrid has worked in the past. We have done this in the past events in OHDSI as well. So that could have been beneficial. Max, do you want to probably also touch on the interest for potential a formal OHDSI Thailand chapter in the next few months? Do you have any perspectives or personal opinions around that topic?
Yeah, sure. I think we had many people joining our line, our chat group, and hopefully we form something together soon. Yeah, and we will let you know. We will let the community know, and hopefully, we will have some Thai folks to join the APAC symposium in Singapore later this year.
That's great, right? Because the reason why I'm chasing Max on this is because during the event, guys, we did gauge the interest from the community. I mean, the participants there to see if they were interested in OHDSI, if they wanted to join the journey. And also we did communicate and share the fact that there are regional chapters within the OHDSI APAC community as well, right? So this was disclosed. A lot of people actually did. They did volunteer, I would say, raise their hand upon the question, would you like to set up a OHDSI Thailand chapter? And we did get a lot of people showing, majority of the people showing their interest to join. However, sometimes, Mui is very energetic. We are very energetic. We are very good at getting positive responses, but sometimes following up on certain actions are, it's more logistical and sometimes political as well. So it's something for us to work with Max here as potentially or OHDSI Thailand chapter lead moving forward. But yeah, I do think there is a clear, I would say, concrete vision of a OHDSI Thailand chapter being set up very soon. So I really look forward to it personally. And Max, if you need any logistical help around communicating with OHDSI and getting bridged with the global side to make this formal, both myself and Mui are available here for that process. So do let us know.
Thank you, Song. Actually, one last note, I have to thank Song. He's a great teacher. So he taught, I think, like vocabulary, in OMOP, and our Thai participant enjoy his session. So if anyone looking for, good instructor, Song is here for you. Thank you, Song.
Max is again he's overestimating my work. I just did what everybody else in the OHDSI community has done. I just shared the love. So maybe a little more context there as well, right? So the tutorial was myself doing a overview of. I made sure to the audience that everybody were beginners, right? Because if you know a lot about OHDSI, the tutorial itself might have been a bit boring, but thankfully the audience, majority of them were beginners. So I provided an overview of the OMOP common data model as well as the vocabulary. We did some exercises in Athena to find what are standard concepts and stuff like that. And then the second part of the tutorial was actually centered around ETL, where Mui gave a short lecture around the ETL process. But the majority of the time, the attendees spent time doing ETL exercises using a spreadsheet and moving synthetic rows of patient data into the ETL tables in an Excel format. So that was really good. Some of the participants actually followed up with a lot of questions that I addressed on the side. So it's really interesting how people do the homework that they are actually assigned to sometimes at these events. So that was really great. Max was supposed to do the talking and I ended up doing half of it, but is there any questions from the community around the event or Max here around his activities and involvements in the Thailand area? Okay, we are shy people, that's fine. Max, thanks for sharing your experience. We look forward to hearing more from Thailand moving forward. I did actually circulate to all the attendees the fact that there is a OHDSI APAC Teams environment and we do host community meetings. If you can help disseminate that among your collaborators in Thailand as well, that would be great. It would be great to see more Thailand faces in these calls moving forward. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Song. Thank you, everyone.
All right, next up, Book, you have a question?
Sorry, just the wrong button. Sorry. I want to clap the hands, sorry.
Yeah, sometimes, you raise your hand instead of clapping. So yeah,
Yes,
we all make the mistake. No worries there. All right, next on the agenda, we have people who attended the OHDSI Japan event to share their experience. Aoyagi-san, I would like to ask you to kick off your recap of the event. Do you want me to share screen or would you share from your end?
Could you please just share your
Sure.
screen? Thank you.
All right. Does everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Aoyagi-san,
Thank you
please.
very much. Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Aoyagi from National Cancer Center Hospital East. I'd like to talk a summary of the event that was held in April. So next, please. Okay, overview of the event. This event held on the National Cancer Center, Japan Tsukiji campus, Tokyo. So number of attendees are 31. The event was divided into two sessions. So next, please. So these are two main parts. Part one is a special lecture by Professor Dani. Professor Dani gave a talk about the benefits of federation research based on his experience with ㅍRecaps in the UK. It is very useful. Personally, I was conducting research on Darwin, so it was very informative for me and us. And in Japan, most epidemiological research still uses individual data, so OHDSI type research methods are not yet well understood. So this session helped us to understand OHDSI's methods. So next, part two is a hands-on session by Professor Qian. Thank you very much for Qian. That was the first hands-on session to be held in Japan. This session was well prepared by Professor Qian and was a success. We learned about atlas-based research through a replication study. It was not enough time, but it was enough to get a general understanding of OHDSI research. These two professors made this event truly informative. Thank you very much. Next, please. Next, in addition to the two main parts, there are other sessions about using OMOP in the APAC and Japan. First is Professor Hiroma's talk. He gave us an update on OHDSI Japan, and he also talked about a new organization he founded to promote the use of OHDSI in Japan. Next is my talk about converting Japanese EHR data into OMOP CDM. I gave a talk about my experience of converting Japanese EHR data into OMOP CDM. So I share the challenges and lessons I learned along the study. So session 3 is a mid talk about OMOP in the APAC region. We gave us a simple and informative talk about OMOP in the APAC region. She talked the different countries and regions where OMOP is being used, and challenge and opportunities for further adoption. Session 4 is Ikeda-san's talk about the role of service providers at IQVIA. Ikeda-san from IQVIA gave us a talk about the role of service providers in the OMOP ecosystem. He shared his insights on the different types of services that are available in IQVIA and how service providers can help to accelerate the adoption of OMOP. These sessions helped us to understand the current status of OMOP in uses in Japan. I learned about there is a lot of interest in using OMOP, but there are also some challenges that needed to be overcome. So I'm confident that OMOP has the potential to make a real difference in improving observation research in Japan. Next, please. Next, please. This is a photo of the. Next is a photo of the event. So there are a picture of a special sessions, even though this is an event zone in Japan, but many questions were asked, and some people approached them directly after the meeting. Next, please. These are presentations for APAC and Japan initiatives. Next, please. There is a summary of the event. Professor Dani's presentation was extremely informative, and we have more interest in network study and Darwin. And Professor Chen hands-on session was very useful, and it is even though the short amount of the time, but it was just right for the attendees to get overall. And Mui, as always, was clear and briefly in telling the benefits of OHDSI. And the presentations from Japan indicated that Japan's ready for OMOP research is progressing. The networking was also good, but I will show you a better place next time. I would be happy, Professor Chen, for if possible. So, next, please. This is the final slide. I would like to express my deeply appreciate to everyone who made these events success. First, I'd like to thank the OHDSI global team, especially Mui and Song, for you all valuable support. Without your expertise and guidance, this event would not have been possible. I would also like to thank Fedana by Professor Hiramatsu for your cooperation. In addition, I would like to extend my deepest appreciation to the IQVIA team for their ongoing assistance. And finally, I would like to thank all of the attendees who took the time to join us. You all presences and engagement made these events truly meaningful, and I'm looking forward to organizing more exciting events in the future in Japan. Thank you again for your support and participation. That's all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Aoyagi-san, for your presentation. Is there any questions for Aoyagi-san around the event or anything relevant? Okay.
If
Go ahead.
possible, follow up, please, Chen-san.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
of course. I will hand over the floor. Yes, definitely. So Aoyagi-san just provided a overall a recap of the event as well as his reflections. Now we'll have Chan, who will give his experience, share his experience focused on the hands-on session that he had led. Chan, do you want me to continue sharing or hand over the screen?
Can I share my screen?
Sure, absolutely.
So I think you can see my screen. So this is a recap of the tutorial at OHDSI Japan 2024. As Aoyagi-san introduced the details of the events. Actually, it was a 4-hour hands-on session from 3:30 to 7:30. And we tried to replicate the previous study, the association of ticagrelor versus clopidogrel with NACE in patients with ACS undergoing PCI. And why we planned this replica tutorial. So the overarching objective was to extend beyond a traditional lecture by providing Japanese researchers with direct interaction with CDM data and practical use of OHDSI tools. So we want to provide more interaction between Japanese researchers and real OMOP CDM tools and data. There are several challenges. So we thought that there is a concern about the hands-on session. So because most of the Japanese researchers are not familiar with OHDSI or OMOP CDM and its research, we are worried about whether they can follow the lecture or it can be really productive. It can be informative to them. So maybe it may not be suitable because they are inexperienced with OHDSI. And it could limit the generation of meaningful outcomes within this tutorial. So that's why we chose to replica tutorial, because it has very clear and concise objective compared with the just study-a-thon. So in usual study-a-thon in OHDSI, just collaborators or the trainees in the study-a-thon have to set their own objective and their own study design, which can be very challenging. So we just showed the example of the study, and we just let people follow our tutorials or guidance to conduct the study. So we can just show some very achievable goal. And I believe that, as an Asian, I think the Korean is very similar to Japanese, I believe. So it's very suitable for Korean people in my experience. So that's why we plan this replica tutorial in Japan. And there are several requirements and preparations for this event. So first of all, we limit the number of participations because we do not have the enough number of teaching assistants or TAs at the event. So I hope to limit the number of participants up to 15. We had to set up the infrastructures for this tutorial. So we checked whether the venue can provide enough Wi-Fi system and power outlets, and we mandates the participant to bring their own laptops for the demo study, because the original this study actually is quite complex. So it's not actually easy to follow this, replicate this study within like 4 hours from the newbie, from the nothing. So I made a very simplified study version for the tutorial, even though its target and competitor is very similar to the study, but it's a little bit different. And then I implemented all these demos within each Atlas instance to facilitate understanding and engagement. I had to prepare Atlas instances for the tutorial as well. So I created 5 Atlas instances on Google Cloud Platform, and to ensure simultaneously use without distraction. So it's 3 persons uses the same cloud Atlas, and in these Atlas instances, I configured the study design. I implemented the study design and negative control outcome concept sets because we do not have enough time to define all of this within 4 hours. So I just put some of the concepts in each Atlas instance. And IQVIA provide the actual result by using their own data set. So I sent the demo package to the IQVIA before the tutorial, and it takes like several weeks to prepare the demo study package, and IQVIA running the package with the right appropriate versions of the R tools. And one of the most important thing was the global TA support. So, there was Seng, Muri, and Sarah from the IQVIA. They helped me a lot, and we recruited these outstanding TAs from the US, Europe, and Asia, and they provided very expert guidance and support, enhancing the learning experience. And actually, they controlled my speed to ensure trainees can follow the whole tutorial. So, if they did not control my speed, then I think that it cannot be successful. So this is the reflection on that tutorial. So even though I did not expect that it can be really successful, but in the end, I think it was quite successful. The attendance and the engagement of the participant exceeded my expectation, because I thought that less than 50% of the participant can actually follow my tutorial in the end. But in actual tutorial, I thought that more than 50% of them actually follow the tutorial to the end, because mostly because of the our TAs. While we did not conduct a formal survey, did we? I'm not sure that, but I think that it's quite providing this kind of the tutorial is better for the researchers rather than just providing English lectures. But I also see some challenges. Like I thought that, because we do have this session in the afternoon, so I saw some fatigue in the trainees, and then I was truly enjoyed Tokyo because it was my first time to visit Tokyo. So maybe I'm not so prepared for this tutorial. So yeah, the cherry blossom at the park is very wonderful, and I can actually see I saw the Fuji mountains as well. So it was a really beautiful moments, and I loved it. Once again, if we have the similar tutorials, then I have to highlight that the role of TA is really important, and they can see that what happens during the participants, and they can control the speed or speed of the tutors, because tutors cannot see everyone's screen at the same time. So it's very important. And once again, we wanted to provide effective learning experience. So overall, the tutorial demonstrate that the practical interactive format could significantly enhance the effectiveness of education session, and the ability of the participant to follow the hands-on activities beyond expectation was really important for the value of this approach. And I believe that while in many Asian countries, not many of them actually have the experience in OHDSI. So we found that providing this tutorial, like very short tutorial or very short hands-on session, can be effective and can provide a very interactive session for the local researchers. Thanks.
Thanks, Chan, for sharing this. On Chan's question about how the participants thought about the tutorial, Aoyagi-san, do you have any feedback? Did you get any feedback from your audience after the event? Did they think it was useful, the hands-on session?
All of the attendees saying thank you for Qian, but they thought it was a very useful hands-on session in Japan. But
Great,
but
great.
Song always helped me. It was very good.
Yeah, so Aoyagi-san, you're talking about the TAs, right? The teaching assistants, right? So everybody was going around helping. It was not only you. If there was other people that needed a help once in a while to follow along with Chan. And I see Chungsu just comment in the chat saying that if they follow Chan in the tutorial, it's a huge success. I agree, right? Chan already knows too much, and for somebody to be able to follow along Chan's pace, I think that already speaks a lot about the audience and how well they are progressing towards being able to do OHDSI and studies. Go ahead, Aoyagi-san.
All of attendees can follow the Chan's talk, and it was a very good time for the Japanese attendees.
I agree. So somewhere actually, even after the tutorials and hands-on, some came up to us asking questions. So yeah, it's really great seeing how the participants were very engaging and wanted to understand more about how this is done and about the study that we performed as part of the tutorial. Right. Any other questions for Chan and Aoyagi-san around the event? Yeah, Fuka is saying we're following Chan for several months and still learning. I agree. And that's also we all need to continue to learn, right? So, is there any other questions or comments? You guys can speak out, right? Not just the chat. Please participate, guys. All right, if no further comments, we have Jason to share a bit about his recent events that took place in Taiwan as well. Jason, would you like to take the floor?
Oh, yes. Thanks, Song. Hello, everyone. Maybe you know that TMU, Taipei Medical University, started to join OHDSI in 2020, and then we host the OHDSI APAC Symposium in 2022 in Taiwan. And then following that, we have several courses continuously to invite the people from OHDSI global team to help us to give us a tutorial or the lecture to support us to let us know how to do the research by using the OHDSI network. So so far we have ever invited around 7 or 8 people to give us a lecture. And in last month, Mui come to Taiwan and to give a very good, wonderful presentation. And I think that presentation focus on the real world data and the real world evidence, and attract a lot of people to be interested in OHDSI. Okay, we got around 30 people to participate in person, and another 70 people participate virtually. So almost 100 people participant, not only just in Taipei Medical University, but also beyond Taipei Medical University in Taiwan. So we got a very good reaction from other people, and they are also interested in OHDSI. And maybe we may attract more and more people from different hospitals in Taiwan to convert their data to the OMOP common data model, and also a lot of researchers to take advantage of OHDSI tools and to do the research. Okay, so just give you very brief summary about the Mui's presentation. Actually, we made a video around 10 minutes, but I will not play the entire of the video and just let you know what's happened in Mui's presentation. And actually, today afternoon, Mark Tai is going to give us a presentation this afternoon virtually. And we also expect Mark Tai will let us know more about how to get involved in the OHDSI. Okay. Can I play the video right now?
Sure.
Let me share my screen first. Can you see my screen right now?
Yeah. Yes. Jason, you might need to stop sharing, and when you share, there is an option where you can include the sound. So when you press the share button, there is a slide bar that enables you to include the sound. So you need to stop sharing and share again.
Okay.
And Jason, for sake of time, can we just focus on the Q&A parts like we discussed, because we do have another, yeah. Thank you. Stop share, and when you click on the share button, Jason, there is a option that says include sound at the very top, right under the share button. Do you see it?
Okay, I see it.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks. Is this okay?
Yes.
My name is Mui Van Zant. I do have a Chinese name, Oyume. Cantonese, Oyok Mui. Okay, so I'm Cantonese, but I can speak Mandarin. but I prefer English. We have to understand what you want to use the data for and how to use the data, right? Secondly, regulatory agencies are becoming a lot more interested in the use of real-world data and are trying to regulate that a bit more. Right? Thirdly, in order to really truly use it, we need to make sure things are standardized and that it can be interoperable as more and more of that become available. And OHDSI is a very, very good way of going at it, right? And fourthly, the use of real-world data continues to evolve, and eventually it will integrate, if it already hasn't, into your everyday lives.
My question is like, do you have any strategy or any plan up to accelerate kinds of the AI-based study? Like the AI-based study is going to be very robust and popular in the other field of study or the field of industry. But
The question thinks that I'm still an undergraduate student. I'm planning to apply for graduate programs in the US. I want to know that is there some suggestions for me to join the OHDSI program or to understand all the concept, because
and start meeting people in OHDSI. Why? Because there's a lot of professors, really prestigious professors in the OHDSI community. Like the Vice Dean of Yale is in the OHDSI community, and he runs the NLP program. If you want to go to Europe, go to UK, Danny from Oxford University is always around, right? Mark Richard, he shows up on our OHDSI APAC call. He's a professor at UCLA. Lots of them.
Okay, I'll stop here. That's it for the sharing.
Thanks, Jason. It would have been great if we had Mui here so that we could embarrass her and put her on the spot. I don't see her name. She did mention she will be traveling today, so unfortunately we don't have her. But I will definitely embarrass her next time when I see her separately. Is there any questions from the audience for Jason? All right.
So we can.
Go ahead, Chen.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. So we can see very active, very vivid activity in Taiwan. But I wonder, whether the other universities beyond TMU has interest in OHDSI work in Taiwan as well.
Yes, we do have some university and hospitals they are interested in that. So that's why we are going to support them to convert the data first. And then actually some hospital start to invite us to give them a tutorial to how to use the Atlas and also other tools. Yeah, and we expect more and more hospital and the university they can join us from Taiwan later. Thanks. And also Qian is one of our invited speakers in the past. Okay, so really appreciate Qian's give us a very good lecture last year. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, it was my honor.
Right. We look forward to more activities from Taiwan as well. Thank you for that presentation, Jason. And last on the menu today, we have Jiawei here, who I think briefly shared his screen a moment ago. I mean, briefly turned on his camera a moment ago. I don't know if Jiawei, you're still in the call, right? Okay, there we go. Yep. So we'll have Jiawei, one of my IQVIA colleagues, to give his to share his experience around the April Olympians event. Jiawei, do you want me to share from my end, or will you do it from yours?
I can share because I have some live things. Yeah.
Sure.
Let me share my screen. Yeah, here it is.
You can see your screen. Yep.
Yeah. Hello everyone. I'm Jiawei. I come from Equivia OMOP Shanghai team. So I attend the OHDSI April Olympians in the April. So this event is raised by CDM and the CMIS working group during the whole month of April to find all the ratified CDM and CMIS conventions. So they may exist in the CDM website, CDM GitHub, CDM GitHub CMIS issue website, and also in the OHDSI forum website. So we need to find all these ratified conventions from them. So this is a community-wide collaboration. So the outcomes would be two. The first is the updated CDM documentation, and second would be the creation of CMIS repository. So how we do this? So firstly, we need to identify all the currently ratified conventions for each CDM table and field from the mentioned places website, then write clear documentation for each CMIS and CDM conventions. After we find these CMIS conventions, so we need to establish a repository for these CMIS conventions so that we can find and look what we want in this website. In addition, we need to also update the CDM documentation so that we can link them to the relevant CMIS repository entries. And finally, because we have some CDM extension modules like GIS, oncology extension, and imaging, so also need to create CDM documentation for these expansion models. So how we work? So in order to do this, we are divided into 3 teams. They are called hunters, writers, and builders. So for hunters, their role is to find all the ratified conventions from these websites and document in the template. Then writers can pick up these templated documentation of ratified conventions and write to their template. Finally, the builders will pick the template written by writers and document it into the CMIS repository and update into the CDM documentation website. So these are the roles. So in the following slides, I will show you the tools we used. So in order to do this, we need to gather all the people in one channel. So we are gathered in the common data model work group channel. So firstly, in order to do this, you need to sign up and have access to the CDM work group. So in this channel, people can ask questions and have answers provided by others. And also, for example, as you can see here, in order to do this, we have a GitHub project board. So need to have access firstly to the board. So need to apply for that. And because I'm in the hunters team, so for hunters, we will have a sign up sheet. So as you can see in the bottom of the right picture, there are several CDM tables. So for each week, we will work on different CDM tables. So for example, here for the drug exposure table here, it's list all the CDM fields for this table. So initially it's empty. So people for the interested fields, people can write their name and work on that column so that other people will not work on that and they can work on the rest column. So avoid duplicate work. And most important is the GitHub project board we work on. So as you can see from the screenshots, so they have hunters colon, writers colon, and the builders colon, and the down colon. So each group work on their own columns. Yeah, this is the example. So for example, for me, I submit the convention I found and write in the template. So for the writers, she can pick up my convention and write into their writers template. So as you can see, she will clean and reorganize the word of the ratified convention. And then finally, the convention will be loaded into the CMIS repository. And as the outcomes, as you can see, these screenshots, this is the CMIS repository created. So I will show you in later. So as you can see, this is the repository website. Yeah. And for the second outcome would be the updated CDM documentation. So as you can see here on the left screenshot, so CI is a new entry for the CMIS convention library added in the CDM document website if you click the conventions tab. And also for the detailed tables or fields, the entries have been added in these table fields. As you can see, this is the desk table. So for the table level convention, CMIS convention, it is added. For the field level CMIS convention, it is also added. So it will give you more detailed instructions on how to use or load the data into this field. So this is the CDM website. I think most of you have used this before. Yeah, so let me show you, sorry. So let me show you more. So as you can see, this is the Teams channel we used. So I have been added into the April Olympians Hunters channel and the general channel. This is a general channel for all people. So in this channel, as you can see, we have posts tab. So here we can post our questions and have answers inside. And for the files tab, the organizer will upload some useful documentation. So for example, this is a sign up sheet for us to sign up. And here, this is a field guide. This is a guide for the hunters for how to use and what's the role of hunters. So these are the useful documentation in this channel. And as I mentioned, this is the sign up sheet. So as you can see, for each week, we will work on different CDM tables. There are 4 weeks. So for example, for drug exposure table, for for condition occurrence table, also we have all the columns. So after we pick up the columns we work on, and we find all the ratified CDM or CMIS conventions, then we write this convention in the GitHub project board. Then we just paste the copied link of the items you added in here. So others will see you have the conventions found and recorded. So this is the sign up sheet. And so, yeah, this is the CDM and CMIS conventions board. This is the board we work on. So as you can see, for example, if I find one ratified CMIS convention from OHDSI forum, so I just add item here, click, and create new issues. So if it's a CMIS convention, I choose CMIS and blank. Yeah, so in here, you just paste your ratified conventions into here. So because for each team, we have one template. So the template is here. So for Hunter template, you just click. So we just copy all these things and write the words we want to write and just replace these words. So this is template we submitted. Then we drag it from the in progress to needs documents. So the writers found we have one convention to work on. So the writers will drag it from the second column to the third column. Then he will work on reorganize the word of the conventions. Then finally, the builders will, after review, the builders will pick the reviewed conventions so that they will update the CDM documentation or write it into the CMIS repository. So as you can see here, finally, we have almost 80 ratified conventions. So as you can see, they are divided. So yeah, so for these conventions, they are divided into CDM and CMIS. So we can identify them by this, as you can see. So for this convention, it's a common data model CDM convention. So for this, it's a CMIS convention. So as you can see, for the most of the CDM conventions, they are related to updating the CDM documentation. So as you can see here, for this convention, CDM convention, it is used to add description and user guide for the concept class table in the CDM 5.4 documentation. And this is the same. Yeah, and for this, it is used to update the previous description of some field to have a new logic of the description. So CDM's conventions are most like this. And for CMIS conventions, they are more related to the logic and of how to load the site-specific data into the CDM model. So they will be, for CMIS, they will be loaded into the CMIS repository. So, and also, as you can see, there are 29 conventions in the last column. So this means these conventions we found are not ratified or need more work from CDM and the CMIS work group. So they need to work on this more. So as I mentioned, so this is the final CMIS repository website. So yeah, as you can see, there are 3 tabs in the left. So for the general conventions, so this means the conventions in general conventions are not specific to the to one table, or they may across multi tables. So they are located in the general conventions tab. So for CDM tables tab, so this means these CMIS conventions are specific to each table or field. And for the tag browser, so the work group add tags because they think it will be more convenient and useful for people to directly find the information they want. So for example, if they are working on lab values, so we can click on the lab values tab. So as you can see, there are 3 pages related to associated to this tab. So as we all know, lab values would be in the measurement table. So as you can see, there are 3 pages related to it. So if I click into this, so I think it's in CDM tables tab. So as you can see in the final, so for each page, there will be tabs here. So for example, for this convention, can values in the value as number field be negative? So there will be these tags, lab values, value as number, negative lab. So this will be very convenient, useful for people to find the information they want directly. So for example, I will have some introduction. For example, for the general conventions, for example, for patient reported data. So if you click in, then you will find what's the issues. So mostly these issues comes from CMIS CDM issues, GitHub issues module, or from OHDSI forums. So as you can see, this issue comes from CMIS issue. This is number, so this is description of the issue. And this is a summary. And also there will be some links to the issue discussion. So maybe some OHDSI forums discussion talk about this issue. So we also have the links to the OHDSI forum. And so finally, for us, we can see the ratified convention title. So under this title, we will find the answer of how to answer this question. So for the patient reported data, so we can insert into the appropriate domain table. For example, if it's a reported condition, then we insert into condition occurrence table. If a reported drug, then we insert into the drug exposure table. Then we use concept ID 32865 patient self-report to load into the corresponding type concept ID field. So this would be one convention example. And this is the date of the published convention, and also the text patient reported. So, and for CDM tables, for example, deaths. So for each CDM tables convention, as you can see, there will be two convention differences. So one is the table level convention, second is the field level convention. So this means for each CDM table, we may have table level and the field level conventions. So for field level conventions, so these conventions will be more specific to the fields. As you can see, we only have two CMIS conventions on the death date field. But for others, there will be more, but need more progress, need more work. So the work group said they will continue working on updating the CMIS repository to make it more perfect, but they are still in progress. So I think it'll be better. So for CMIS repository, I think it is more helpful for the CDM users and ETL developers for them how to load their site-specific data into the CDM model. And for the updated CDM documentation, so as you can see, I mentioned, so for example, for concept class, so because we have all the CDM tables here, so we add a table description, user guide information, and for CDM source, for example, we also have the user guide and ETL convention information added so that we users know how to use these fields. And for this example, for example, if we have download the Athena vocabulary from Athena, and we want to write the CDM source table, we don't know the vocabulary version, so it also lists the SQL for how to find the correct vocabulary version from the vocabulary table so that we can load this information. I think it is very useful because for me, I don't know this before, but during this event, I know how to do that. And also, as I mentioned, for example, for death table, some CMIS repository entry has been added. I think for the convention conditions, for example, condition not added. I think they will work on this in the future. And as I mentioned, so if you want to directly go to the CMIS repository, there will be an entry here added under the conventions tab. So when you click it, it will direct you directly to the CMIS repository. It's very useful. And also one thing is also added. So here, for example, in the FAQ tab on the support. So as we all know, it is recommended to build all the CDM tables, but what's the minimum tables we can build? So for example, in order to build a CDM, we must at least have the person observation table, and also CDM source table is added in this time, because as we all know, when we want to run the DQD, CDM source table is necessary. So this table is also added. So I think in the FAQ tab, there will be many useful introduction and questions we can have a look.
Jiawei,
yeah,
sorry
sorry
to stop you there. For the sake of time, we're like 1 minute left. I have a few questions, right? So the FAQ here, was it there before or was it updated as part of the April Olympians event?
Oh, it was before.
Okay.
We existed before.
Okay, and Jiawei, is the efforts of the April Olympians event still ongoing, or is it concluded now?
It is concluded now because, as you can see, there's the board we will not use now. But as work group mentioned, the CDM work group will create a new board, GitHub board for the people, so that in the future we can contribute our efforts in the new board. And Cleo mentioned and she really would like happy to host such yearly event for all the OHDSI people to attend and contribute their efforts in the future.
Yeah. So I'm asking because I do think this needs to be a continuous effort because things are going to keep changing and things need to be updated. So yeah, maybe a yearly event is a good option. That's something good to know about. And Jiawei, my last question, the CDM conventions that were updated, is it only for version 5.4 or is it also updated on version 5.3 as well?
I think 5.3 is also updated because when you look at the 5.3, because I introduced in the 5.4, when we look into the 5.3, all these are also added in 5.3. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. I just wanted to check because we do have both CDM versions of 5.4 and 5.3. I know some
Yes.
people are still using 5.3 because 5.4 is more focused on the new tables around oncology extensions, but just wanted to check that this is updated on both versions. So I know we're past 1 minute. People are signing off, but just want to open up the floor to see if there's any questions for Jiawei. All right, thanks, Jiawei, for sharing this. I think the key takeaway here is the OMOP CDM conventions page are now updated with the latest conventions that were previously spread out here and there. And there is also a new Themis repository where you can refer to as the first place to go if you have any questions around ETLing or handling the source data when OMOPing, when converting into the OMOP model. So thank you, Jiawei. We're up on time. There is some news that I had, but these will be available through through the OHDSI APAC website. So it's about the upcoming OHDSI symposiums in the European regions and the global regions, and some of the registrations that are currently open and call for participations around collaborator showcase. So guys, please do check it out once that becomes available. But other than that, I think we had a very good session today. Yeah, I think we're good to conclude the call. Thanks everybody for joining. Have a great day ahead and see you in 2 weeks at the Scientific Forum. Bye guys.
Thank you. See you.